excited to have you with us today. We've got a really great Father's Day feast ready for all of you. And thinking about Father's Day, generally pretty much almost all men love burgers, steaks. They eat salads, but they prefer other things. Potatoes, at least that's how my husband is. So I can't say that's true for everybody, but I thought it would be very appropriate. Last week we did a Father's Day barbecued pork with some coleslaw, crunchy coleslaw, and that was just really, really great. And this week we're doing gourmet sliders, and I thought, don't you worry, next week we are eating healthy. We're going to do a lemon balsamic asparagus salad. It's a fabulous salad. I've been making it for years. I absolutely love it. We're going to do a blueberry lemon salmon, and then we're going to do a fruit parfait with lemon chantilly cream on it. So we have some really great recipes for next week too. But today we're just going to keep thinking about the dads and thinking about Father's Day. So I am going to start out with pickled red onions. So I love to pickle things. And it started, my mom always pickled things when we were kids, but I really got my love for pickling things when I married my husband, and they always made, and his family still makes all the time, pickled roasted peppers or pickled peppers, like the red, just regular bell peppers, the red, yellow, and green. And they are so good. It's a signature dish that I always serve because every time I don't have them, when I have, especially my family, my kids, they are not happy when I don't have those peppers. But today I'm going to take it a step in another direction, and that is pickled red onions. I am not a lover of red onions. However, I love pickled red onions on anything. In a salad, they stay good in the fridge for about 2 weeks, and they take no time at all to make. So I'm going to show you how we actually make those. I'm going to fill up my container with 1.5 cups of hot water. So all you need is a glass ball container. I'm using a ball container. We have 2 shallots, and we actually have them already in the Eco Chop. I also put some garlic in there. You don't have to put garlic in. It's an addition that I love. But what we're doing is we are using 1 cup of the pomegranate balsamic. And you could make these with apple cider vinegar, but I'm telling you, you've never tasted something that tastes so good like when you use this pomegranate. It's fabulous. And what I do, so I don't waste, even when I make the peppers, so that my peppers are already cooked. The onion has been, of course, washed, but it's not cooked. But we do put the boiling water. I put boiling water in the container because you don't want the onions to taste just so crunchy. You want them to soften up, so you could use them on a lot of different things. You could put them in a meatloaf, you could put them on burgers, you can put them in a salad. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Any sandwich. I mean, just think of microgreens and pickled red onions. What a great combination with anything, even just with bread. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to add the water to the container. And then we are going to add pepper. I'm using cherry pepper and Vietnam pepper. And this is about a teaspoon of the peppercorns. So we want to get that flavor in there, and it looks really beautiful as well. So we want to just make sure that we get that in. Let's put these in. Got a nice peppery flavor. The onions do become really sweet, not so spicy. You could also put red pepper flakes in here, or one of my favorite French chefs is Jacques Pepin. And what he does he's the one that I learned using the hot water from, because I've always used cold water in the past for cauliflower or anything. You could use the same recipe for cauliflower. You could use it for any pickled vegetables, carrots. You would, you know, you don't have to cook them because the hot water will get them a little bit more tender, but you probably want to cut them, not leave them whole carrots, but cut them in smaller pieces. The other thing that I'm going to use is 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, and this just, the sweet and the salty just comes so well together. There we go. And then the other thing that we are going to put in here is our salt, which I have somewhere. It's here. Okay, here we go. We're going to use the red wine and vinegar salt. I like to use different salts on everything, and the salt, I'm not leaving that in the larger crystals. And I put 1 teaspoon also of the roasted garlic and chive herb blend. And the reason that I do this is, you know, water doesn't absorb garlic very well. Oil absorbs garlic. So I know that if I have this, and this is like a roasted garlic, very, very finely sliced, and you can see this is a paper from the garlic. I always find one of them in our roasted garlic and chive. And to me, that is the best thing to find, because it's a symbol of the freshness that our herb blends have. And I'm just so proud to represent that. So I am going to put in 1 teaspoon of the roasted garlic and chive. And I want to make sure that I get some of those big garlic pieces. We'll put that in. And then I'm going to take my mini whisk. I'm going to take my my pomegranate vinegar, and I'm going to put 1 cup. You need 1 cup of vinegar with 1.5 cups of water. You could use any of the flavored vinegars. Just think about, what do you like? Let's make it the taste that you love the most. Now I'm going to cut my onion very easily. So you just cut your onion in half, cut off the ends, and then I always peel off that first layer. Of course, when you want to grab it, you can't get it. Okay, got that first layer off. And I look always at my onion and see if it has any, like I had one earlier today and it had a really black spot. So I just cut that little spot off. Then you cut this in half, and then cut this half as well, the same. You only need 1 onion for this entire recipe. And as I started to say, when these are done, I may use that same liquid and do another onion. And the reason that I do that is because there's nothing that's going to go bad. The onions will generally stay good in the refrigerator for 2 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer. I've kept pickled peppers in the refrigerator for 3 weeks, and they stay good. And I go in, you know, the oil that you use for those, it solidifies. So when the oil solidifies, what I do is I just take what I want out. If I'm cooking, I love to use them in a recipe that calls for vegetables or peppers, because they make everything taste so good. Because there's balsamic, there's vinegar, there's a regular vinegar and a balsamic vinegar. Just is so nice, and just a beautiful flavor and taste. So we're just slicing these, and you want to slice them about this thick. Just, you know, follow along the grain of your onion and those indentations that will help you. I always feel like anyone can become really good at cutting an onion because it's already lined out for you to cut. And you can cut it smaller or larger depending on what you're going to use it for, and depending on what you want. What do you like? If you want your onions to be sweet and spicy, you want to use a lot of pepper, and you want to use 1 to 2 teaspoons of the brown sugar. Or if you're using a sweeter, let's say you used a mango white balsamic, then that's much sweeter than the pomegranate. It's really tart. That's why I love to use the pomegranate with this. I mean, to me, it beats apple cider vinegar hands down. So I'm just slicing the rest of this onion. And I'm gonna mix them up just with my hands and I'm gonna put them straight in the jar. I'll take this end piece, there's black on there. It's not mold, it's just, the onion. So I left one thick, just the last one. So I am going to place these right in here and I'm going to mix them up a little bit because I want them to get separated. So when I go to grab them, they're singular, not double and triple onions. Maybe you'll leave one, these pieces are like from the very center. We'll leave them like that because you don't know what you're going to use them for. If you want them for a recipe, the best thing to do is to fix them tonight and you can use them tomorrow. But you know what? You can fix them in the afternoon and use them at night too. And the longer they sit, the better they taste, of course. I filled this up a bit. I think I used a little extra water on there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dump a little bit of this in the cup. You just dump this in here because what you want to do is you want to make sure you have room to shake. That's what I really love to do. Also take my mini whisk, just shake it. Whisk it up a little bit. Make sure that all of your onions must be covered, all of them. Then I'm just going to take my top and make sure it's really tight. I'm just going to shake it. And I have some beautiful pickled red onions here that are going to be great on any burger, any sandwich, in a salad, on their own, depending on what you like. But I can tell you, one thing I have found is people become very addicted to these because they are that good. I'm going to just grab a fork here. And I'm going to get out some of the ones that we've made already. So I can show you how beautiful they are. I made these this afternoon. Even people who do not enjoy red onions will absolutely love these. So just making sure that everyone can see that you have your spice there. Really a great addition to a very plain burger, quite honest. So we're going to set this aside because we'll use those onions on our sliders. So in the meantime, I'm going to go back to Leslie, and Leslie is going to prepare Pommes Frites for you, and those are with truffle, and that's truffle fries. So on to you, Leslie.
Okay, great. I found in my research today that 1/3 of all potatoes grown in the US are for French fries. I don't know if that's good, but we are going to make them at home. And so, of course, anything you make at home is better than getting it out in town.
Exactly.
Right. So I've got the russet. These are best to use because of their high starch content. They crisp up nicely. Other potato recipes, if you're doing mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving, sometimes you will prep the potatoes and soak them in water. We're going to do that today, but we're not doing it to keep them from turning brown. We are doing it to release some of the starch so that they will crisp up more. So I'm going to use 2 cups of water and a tablespoon of baking soda, and we'll put that in here. Mix that up a little bit. And this is where we're going to put our potato slices, our fries, when they're all cut. All right. I'll put it over here. All right, so we are going to use the mandolin today. Our mandolin, I love it. It's very sturdy. You don't have to be afraid using it, although I know some people are, just for using that. Okay, so the mandolin has these buttons on the side. So this one is a knob, and we're going to turn it to 4. That will bring the depth of the blade down so that we'll be able to cut it to that thickness. And we are going to slide this over one, so that will bring up one row of blades, and that will give us a really nice cut for our potatoes. What's great is to have everything the same uniform size so that it will bake evenly. Okay. And for some reason, my printer wouldn't work today, so I have to look at my notes over here, but we're just gonna go with that. That's easy. All right, so the ingredients that you need for this are very simple. You need potatoes, some French pantry oil. I'm using roasted garlic today, truffle salt. I've got my refill here, and I used my mortar and pestle to make it into finely grated because I think my salt-loving daughter has my container. Also, the some aioli, which is so great to dip anything in. Once we got the aiolis, my family was looking for all the different things to dip into it because all of the flavors are fabulous. You can also add Parmesan cheese at the end, or some of our roasted garlic and chive herb blend. So those are just ways to make the flavor even more fabulous. All right, so I have my potato prepped and ready to go. I've got it over my cutting board here. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Oh, I wanted to show you one thing because I was thinking, how do I do this? All right, so you can make small fries or you can make large fries. Look how long that is. And I was like, how can I make my fries longer? Well, you know, I just had to go from this way to this way on my mandolin. So I don't know if your brain goes that way or not, but I was like, wow, okay, so we'll do some long ones this way. I feel like it's harder to cut it this way. Is it because there's more surface? But look how great these look. They're just fabulous. I love them. You know, we eat with our eyes, so it's lovely to have something that looks good also. All right. I didn't know if maybe you rotate this after a bit to get this side. That might be good as well. So we are just going to slice some of those up for our sample to show you guys tonight. I'm going to set this over because of course I have some things prepped and ready to go. So I can add these slices to our water that has the baking soda in it. And by the way, you can keep the peel on or take the peel off, whichever you would like to do with your potatoes. What do you guys think? Peel on or peel off? All right, so when I did this, I let this soak for 30 minutes and then I let it dry for 30 minutes. We are not going to do that because of time. So we are going to pretend 30 minutes went by and we will lay them out to dry. So what you can do from here is you can grab them and rinse them off. I did not do that when I did the other ones, and I was kind of curious what that would be like. So I think, oh, maybe I'll do that with my next batch. But I just did it like this. I had them in here, and I put them in the salad spinner. You can use the colander as well. You just want to make sure that they get dry because water and oil don't mix very well. All right, so this is helping us along our way of getting our dry fries. We want them dry so that the oil will stick to it and make them nice and crispy for us. So if you would like, you can lay them out on your towel and add another towel on top or pat them dry. So they look pretty good like that. So if you are in a hurry, you can just rinse them and do it like that. Add it to your butternut. So these ones I actually put in the freezer also. So that was a bonus step. And we feel like the frozen ones became more crisp. So there's another tip for you. Let's see here if I've got all my things going. All right, so whether you have them rinsed, soaked, or cut and prepped and ready to go, your next step, or if you put them in the freezer, your next step is to put them in a bowl. and add your oil. So these are super simple. If you have the drying, soaking, drying, freezing, those all add a little bit of time, but you know, you can prep this and leave them in the freezer until you're ready to use them, and you can do that, you know, maybe a day or so ahead. I think, you know, even if you go to the grocery store, you can buy them in the freezer section. So they're halfway ready for you at that point. So we'll try some more of these off. So then all you have to do is add the oil. I still see some water here. That's not what we want. But they look so pretty, I just love them. All right. I didn't know I could make such pretty fries. Using the mandolin helped, and turning it sideways there. All right, so I will add some of our roasted garlic oil here. And of course, you can add any of the different seasonings. All right, so we'll just give this a little toss. And then we're just gonna lay them on the bond mat. The oven is set at 400. And what you want to do with this is make sure that they all have their own space. If they are crowded together and laying on top of each other, they're going to steam instead of roast. So we'll get these guys all lined up. So I baked them for 10 minutes and then I checked on them, and you can determine based on your oven and how crispy you like your fries, how dark you like your fries, how many more minutes you need to go. Pretty much I did like about 10 and 5. Although the last one I did that were in the freezer did like 10 and 10. So of course it's always better to look at them early. You don't want to look at them late and have them already be brown after all of your work. But here's all of our fries ready to go in. All right, and this is the small bond mat. Okay, so I did make fries. This set I made, and I've got all my notes over there, so I remember which one's which. These ones I did and put them in the freezer for, they ended up being there for a while because they were like an hour or whatever while I was doing other things. But you know, any type of fries are great. Homemade is great. So you save you some calories also. And but we felt that these ones that were in the freezer were a little bit more crisp. All right, now I want to show you how quick and easy it is to make sweet potato fries. You can save some of the steps when making the sweet potatoes. There's no need to soak those. Let's get this over here. All right, which would you prefer? Do you have a preference? Sweet potato or regular? So again, you can peel this. Some people enjoy the peel on there, so you can do that if you'd like. Now I'm doing the short way, so I'm getting small pieces. Maybe I should go the long way. Let's see, can I do this? This is quite a big sweet potato. So you can take that, consider that when you're purchasing sweet potatoes for your fries. How big they are, how you want your fries to look. I'm gonna get away from this. Oh my goodness. All right. Look at how long these are, super long. All right, so we've got some that are less long. But you know what? This is all you have to do. Peel them and cut them if you want to peel them. Add them to a bowl and then toss in your oil. And oh, there was one more thing that I used with these too. And that was cornstarch. It said cornstarch. I used tapioca.
That's better.
Okay. All right, there we go. Yep. So just add a little bit of oil in here and toss these. And oh, yeah, I forgot my Arrowroot, where did I put it here? So the arrowroot, you're supposed to do that first, but we're just gonna add it, you know, it's fine. We just do a little sprinkling. I didn't really see, I don't think. It said about a teaspoon per tray. So I'm just gonna do a little dusting here. And you should do it first so that the oil has something to stick to. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't really have that many sweet potatoes to show you because they are very good. But I do have a few tricks. So when you are doing sweet potatoes, I was hoping that I would make it more while I was standing around, and I thought, well, then I'm gonna get my stuff messed up while I do that. These ones were great. They were crispy. This would be great even if you just had this as a bed of something, and then layered things on top of it or added this to your salad or something. I mean, these are nice and crisp. Just think of the calories you would save using this instead of like tortilla strips or croutons or something, you know. Might as well have it be fun and healthy and add some color to it. All right, so I think that that's all I have for you. So when you are using this, just keep your eye on them as the time is getting short so that you can not burn yours. If you have any that are left over, which you might not, but if you do, you can always use them the next day, toast them up in your air fryer or your toaster oven, or you can just put them back in the oven on your Bon mat. And if you want to prep in advance, like I said, do your potato slices. If you're going to do your white ones, your russet potatoes, you could have them soak in water for up to a day, or if you want to get them all prepped and dry them, put them in the freezer, then keep them in there for yourself and make your life one step easier, okay? All right, Cindy, back to you, or find out about the sliders.
Thanks so much, Leslie. Wow, those look so great. And you know, French fries are my biggest weakness. I would take French fries over wine and over a lot of things. They're so good. Thank you for that. And the sweet potato fries you made look absolutely perfect too, as well as the potatoes. But definitely, I know your kitchen's pretty hot, but I hope you and your family really enjoy those tonight. So I'm going to get into the sliders. These are so simple to make. Now we did sliders, I think in January or February when I think we did them for football season or something. One of the things that you want to keep in mind is I'm using 2 shallots and some fresh garlic cloves. And I'm just putting them in together. Of course, you can use the mini chopper and mince the garlic, but because I have these small shallots, it's kind of nice that I can put them all in together and even save a little bit more time. So I'm going to chop these. I have also 98% lean, I think it's 96% lean, grass-fed beef, and this is 1 pound. And then I have 2 shallots, and I put in a little bit extra garlic, 3 cloves of garlic. I did 12 holes because I wanted it to be micro, very, very minuscule. And I want it like that because I wanted the garlic to chop enough, so the garlic will be a little bit, you'll be able to see it in your burger and taste it. It's gonna taste really great. And then the shallots, you don't even see them, but you taste, the flavor profile is so nice to put garlic and shallots together and a lot different than a regular onion. And remember that we're going to have also the pickled onion. So they really complement one another, that where the shallots are not pickled at all. They're just mixed in here with a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to put in some truffle mustard, and you can use any of the mustard. And this is cooking, not baking. You can make a variance if you like. Do the flavors you love. And if you don't know about our French pantry flavors, you need to know about them. I used to use a lot of salt, but I found with French pantry, I use so much of the herb blend that I use a lot less salt. And sometimes I don't even need salt, which is really interesting. Salt was created to enhance the flavor of what you're eating. It's not created to make all your food just taste like salt, except maybe French fries taste really good with a lot of salt. So you can see our French pantry line up here. I'm putting in I'm putting in the roasted garlic and chive. And then I'm also putting in some of the rosemary, basil, and thyme. And the reason I'm doing that is I love the flavors of the roasted garlic and chive, but I want to mix it up a little bit and just thinking about what goes really well with the truffle. You'll be amazed. Like my sliders will not taste like they won't taste exactly like truffle. They won't taste just like roasted garlic and chive. They just taste like a medley of flavor that is just outrageously good. And people will be asking you, what'd you put in here? It's so good. The last thing we're going to put in now is uh, uh, the truffle mustard. And I'm just going to put in, I am not a huge truffle fan, but I do realize that a lot of people love truffle. So I'm gonna put in 1 spoon. I very rarely do anything with burger that, except pasta, if I'm making a sauce, that I don't put mustard in it. Mustard is one of those things that is not, and mustard is not a condiment the way we believe it is. Mustard is actually an ingredient that enhances the flavor of so many other things. And that's why the French use mustard so often. You'll find so many of the recipes have mustard in them. And I talked about that last week. Does it taste like mustard? No, but it does taste really good. So I think that even putting, I use the chipotle mustard. I'm not a big fan of chipotle flavor, but the chipotle mustard is like that puree done with the vinegar, and then it's made from the chipotle peppers, and it's amazing how good it tasted when I made burgers. So any mustard that you have, I suggest use what you have, use it up, and then get a different one and try something new. And I think it's just a really good rule of thumb. So how long do you mix this? Now you could use the masher, but because I just feel like this beef is so beautiful, I don't want to ruin the integrity of it. Normally I would mash it with a chunkier beef, but this is really smooth and really nice. This is from Trader Joe's, my favorite place. No, I don't get paid, but I love Trader Joe's, just like many of you, right? So you'll know that you've mixed it enough when you don't see any more yellow of the mustard. This is my rule of thumb. No more yellow, then you're perfectly fine to start really, what I do next, actually. I put the salt in, and I'm going to use the red wine salt again. And I generally do for 1 pound of beef, I do like 6 to 8 turns, depending on if you have the mill adjusted to where it's coming out really fast or really thick salt, a thicker grain, then you want to do less, of course. So just, of course, you're not going to cook it and try it right then because it's raw meat, but just be aware of how much salt you are putting in. Sometimes when you're using a mill, you could put way too much, or maybe you think because you turned it 4 times, it's a lot. So just get to know your mills. Regardless if you use ours or one of your own, get to know what you are using so you know. It's really great to just know how many turns or know how many pulls on the Eco Chop, or how many times are you, twirling the mincer, the mini chopper that minces so beautifully. So you can see this is a really nice ball here. It looks very well mixed. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm gonna just wipe my hands and add some pepper. So I'm gonna get the pepper. I'm gonna take these out of the oven. They smell like they're burning. Okay. Keyboard in the kitchen, dangerous. Okay. It's okay. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is add the pepper. Do 8 turns on that, and then I'm just gonna mix that up a little bit more, mix it in, and I just think of it like doing what you would do with dough. So I kind of do the same thing that I would do with dough or batter. I want to fold it in to make sure that all of the ingredients gets in there. And just like if you're doing a meatloaf or anything and you have the eggs in there, how are you going to make sure your salt and pepper are well distributed or that any of the mustard is well distributed? Just have to pay attention, and it takes a little bit, a few more seconds, but it's so worth it because every bite tastes fabulous. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this cookie scoop, and I fill the cookie scoop almost full. Like I want it so I can still see a little bit around the edge. It's not like overflowing. Then I have my flexi mat here, and I'm going to place this round like that, and then I'll go back and mash them after. See if I can put this on top of it so you can still see it. That way it can work properly. I don't want it to like mesh too much. Just enough. You can smell all the flavors, the seasoning and the onions. They smell so good. This is like something that your dad is gonna love these, or your husband's gonna love these for Father's Day. And even if it's not Father's Day, a picnic, sitting out, making a picnic in your yard, what fun is that? I like to make a tray of these and take them up north because we have a small house on the lake up there, and my daughter has a house 2 doors down. So my one daughter comes with us and we all congregate. We call it our compound, but it's not really a compound. It's just small place, and just a place that we can really relax and have a great time. And all weekend I cook and I try and make a lot of things from home. I think I told you that last week. And just, you know what, it's just so wonderful to be able to go and to have fresh food. Even though my kitchen is so small there, my oven is so small there. I cannot fit the large perforated baking sheet in my oven there. It's an oven that the medium tray has to go with this way. So there's not a lot of space or a lot of room, so I have to really be careful about what I'm making. But I like to make things where I can have one tray and then I can make enough for everybody. So next I'm going to smash these down. And I like to smash them and then I make them into kind of like a little square. This one too. You want to be able to do that so that it doesn't completely fall apart on you. And remember that they're going to take their own shape. Doesn't matter what shape you put them in. They're going to take on their own shape because they have a personality of their own. A strong personality and a really sharp taste. Really good taste. So I generally just push down in the middle. You could use the cutters and put them inside the cutters of the size that you want it to be. The one thing you need to remember is that these are going to shrink, and you don't want to just be eating bun or a roll. This our rolls, we got Hawaiian rolls, and they're really perfect. I think the recipe we talked about Kaiser rolls and toasting them in the oven, but for time's sake, I'm just going to do the Hawaiian rolls because you don't want to toast them. They taste so good not toasted. They're so fresh from the store right now. It's one of the, you can make them too, and they're not hard to make. I think one day we'll show you how to make some rolls that are really good for any type of burger. So I just go along and kind of play with this a little bit, pat it down. I don't want it too large and I don't want it too small. So we'll have this makes 8 sliders, and you could make more sliders, but you'd need some of your bun. So I know sliders are generally, they're supposed to be like one bite. These are not one bite. They're enough to feel full with the salad or whatever else you have. So I'm just gonna pat them down a little bit because I want to make sure that they're going to be good on the rolls. I just shape them a little bit. Fine. And you know what, when I pull them out of the oven, you can't tell which ones I shaved, if I did any around or all. So this is the sliders, there you go, we have 8 sliders ready to go in the oven. And this is a trick that I believe everyone should do. I don't remember what I put on the recipe, but really I cook these or bake them at 400 or 425. The hotter the oven is, when you put them in, the quicker they're going to cook. What you don't want is the top of the slider to look like you boiled it instead of, roasted it. So you want to get that crispiness on the outside of it. So I'm going to stick these in the oven. Oh, the oven is at 375. I'm going to turn it up. Wash my hands. Then I'll show you how they actually turn out. So I'm going to put that on 425. They should cook about 7 to 10 minutes or 12 minutes. And if you're cooking them longer, you probably don't have the oven up high enough. So these look like squares when I made them. I didn't put cheese on all of them, but what I do is I use the cheese that I have, but Gruyere is fabulous with this. This is a Swiss cheese, and I do the piece in a triangle, and then I just fold it on top of the burger, and it seems like the exact right amount. If you want more cheese, you can certainly put more cheese, but remember, these are going to be really flavorful because of everything that we put in the meat mixture. So I'm going to take my little slider bun here. So we have this nice, beautiful square. I'm going to take this one here. Well, I'm going to put first the, got my spatula there. I'm going to put the mustard on the bottom of the bun, and I'm going to put the truffle. This is truffle mustard. So we're staying true to truffle today. Truffle mustard. And I'm going to put truffle aioli on the top. And what's really nice is I just put you can see not very much of the truffle mustard in the meat mixture. And it's going to just come out with a really beautiful flavor and taste. Then we're going to take some of the onions. They do not have any truffle on them, and that's a good thing, but they're just going to add a punch to this burger that is really great. And you won't feel like it's too many onions because they are pickled, they're sweet and a little spicy. And then we also have the microgreens. You could use arugula. I'm going to put the microgreens on here, keep it in the, goes really well with the truffle. And we want to keep it in the gourmet realm. And here you go. We have this beautiful little burger here. I'll put it on this here, all ready to serve. And get ready for people to eat more than one, because they're so tasty and good. I know that they will. So I hope that you've been able to garner some knowledge about some different things that you can do for Father's Day this weekend, but it doesn't have to be Father's Day in order for you to enjoy great ingredients and really put fabulous things together. And I hope anything that you do try, please go to our recipe, write a review on our recipes at bunncook.com, and also just take the opportunity to let us know how it was, because if there's something we need to tweak, we want to hear from you. My taste may not be the same as yours. You may have a much better idea than me. I'm sure many or all of you do. So I hope that you have the opportunity to enjoy this great presentation of the fries and different things that you can do. And using truffle, remember that mustard always enhances everything that you make. And of course, the aioli is the creamy texture and just tastes so great. Putting it all together with the microgreens and the pickled onions, I hope that you take the opportunity to do it. Nothing really took very long. Think about it. It's so fast to mix up. If I weren't talking, I could mix it up much faster with the meat than I actually did. But anyone have any questions? We have some great sales for you. I'm sure that you received an email today. If not, I hope somebody put the sale items in the chat. And if you would like to host a virtual cooking pop-in or a cooking pop-up, definitely let us know. We'd love to hear from you. All of the consultants that or sales representatives on the call today are definitely happy to to help you, and they are experts in the field of cooking. And we have a great just cooking experience every single week here on Taste the Trend. So thanks so much, everyone. Anyone have any questions? Maybe Leslie can tell me.
I don't think I see any in the comments.
Yeah, I don't see
Okay.
any.
But I forgot, after I make my fries, you can toss it with the truffle, the black truffle salt, dip it in the aioli, which of course is delicious. Or
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good.
yeah.
Any of the aioli actually would be great. But thank you everyone so much. We'll see you next time. And if you'd like to purchase any of the items that we showed tonight, I believe most of them are on sale, but reach out and let us know. We're happy you're here, and thanks so much for getting on. Next week, like I said, we're doing lemon balsamic asparagus salad. It's a fabulous salad, my favorite. In addition to that, we're doing blueberry lemon roasted salmon, and then we're doing a little bit of sweet fruit parfait with lemon chantilly cream. I can't wait to present that, and there will be almond cookies in that as well, homemade. So we'll see you next week. Thanks everyone for joining in. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.